So we're going to do a slightly different homework this time, more based on maths. So again, in my homework tool here, I have got various folders set up, and I've made one for arithmetic, and I've just clicked on test to create a new test for divide numbers. And as you can see, the same settings come up as any other test will. There's a couple of things that we're just going to check on this test. One is that under submission, one is to make sure that obviously this one is automatically marked, and the other one under submission, I'm just going to make sure that it numbers the questions automatically for us. I'm not going to show them randomly, and that's the only kind of change we're going to make here. So I'm just going to choose new question, and this is going to be a division question. I'm just going to put the letter A in here because you need to put something in there, but what I really want to do is use this area of the test, and the reason for that will become apparent shortly. So one of the questions that arose was how to put a divide sign between two numbers, so if you've got this is a divide numbers test, homework, so how do we go about doing that? So let's just put in 8 divide, I just want to put the word divide, and then I'm going to put the number 2, actually make sure that divide is spelt correctly. And there's a reason for putting that in, because I want the divide by sign to appear here. So to do that, I have to click on source, and where I've got divide written here, I'm just going to put an ampersand, an and sign in front of that. So that's just the shift key and the number 7 on the keyboard. So that ampersand sign is right up against the divide sign, and there's a space between the 8 and the divide. Okay, so that should work. So let's just scroll down and just save this without making any changes whatsoever to anything. Okay, so I've got my divide by sign. Okay, let's just make that quite massive. Well, not massive, but large enough, because these are simple questions for younger children, so we want the text to be quite big. So the simplest way of setting up any kind of test is to use radio buttons, because then it's just automatically marked for you. So let's just put in a range of choices here. Let's just have 2, 3 and 4, etc. However many you want. Obviously you can you've got an option here of adding more alternatives if you want to, or you can limit the number of choices you have. Mark which one is the correct one, and don't put a score in, because we just want the children to know what the correct one is, rather than having to have marks and things like that. So I can also show all of the options horizontally, that saves space sometimes on the page. It looks quite good. And you can also choose mandatory. So what this is good for is if you've got challenge homeworks at the end, which are just for extension or people who want to have a go at something else. So I'm just going to choose that and click save. Right, now the reason we've done this question like this is because there's going to be loads of these types of questions. So I just want to copy this and then just change the numbers instead of having to go to source and change all the settings to horizontal, etc. So let's click on the divide numbers page right at the top, the page that appears right at the top, and this time go to list. List will now show the different questions that we've got, so I can highlight that particular question, and I can just say, okay, let's duplicate that and duplicate it some more. Doesn't really matter which one you choose now, any of these will do. Let's have about 4 or 5 of these just to show. And now when I go into the second one, I know it's the second one that I'm editing. All I need to do is change these particular numbers here. So let's have 18 divided by 3 this time. Let's change the answer options. So again, we need to think about what sort of answers you're going to give and what, you know, where the misconceptions lie and things like that. So let's just put, I can't remember what the question was, 8 divided by 3, so let's not make that the correct one this time. Let's make one of the other ones a correct one. So let's make that one a correct and take the tick off of here. And this is very easy to kind of get wrong, but you know, it's just part of setting this up. So let's just save that and we can go ahead and do that for all of them. So in the next video, what I'll do is I'll show you, I'll kind of update these, but I'll show you how to set up a question which isn't mandatory and what that might look like for this particular homework.